I think in Holland we are living in this very artificial land, and when I came here I first realized that it's even more artificial than I first thought. I mean, in Holland we call everything landscape, so it's really man-made land, and here everybody calls Australia, they call it the land, which is more like the basis which is here for millions of years. When we see, first time we see a landscape or a land, we always try to figure out how it's working and how we can interact with it. And we want to do something, like act. And what I see here, that it's more about understanding what you see and not about acting.
You only need to walk 300 metres out from this centre here and you can get a certain stillness to yourself and the place. Interesting thing in Australia is the stillness comes in various ways, and so the building you do on the seaside is quite different to the one you do out here, but you still try and integrate that stillness into the building. This landscape here is a long landscape, as you can see, and so buildings here probably look and feel better if they're a building with light and shade and with lowness and length rather than height. They feel more comfortable in this sort of landscape. What I like about these buildings is they do exactly what they need to do without any extras. And that's a lovely way to read a building, to understand a building.
How would a poet look at this landscape, Paul?
Well, one of the things we were talking about today was how in some traditions the stones are words. And the stones can be arranged in many different ways. And so one can start to imagine hillsides of open speech, open utterance, where the rearrangement makes you a poet as you walk through them. These are both very simple, playful thoughts, but from a tradition of fixed positions and the demand that you survey and keep things in their place, it's a very radical idea.
All the rocks around this area in Inbrogan Hill, they was formed flat like that, and I reckon something happened under the ground years ago and it spun everything up, and that's why they stand like. And when you go on to Fowler's Gap, if you fly across an aeroplane, you'll see a lot of rock just sticking up like fences. They reckon there was something under the ground a long time ago and it spun them up.
I said yesterday, somebody said in Holland, which is a small country, we have big flowers. In Australia, which is a big country, we have small flowers. You see all those small flowers. And that's just a very funny contrast, because you wouldn't really think about that when you hear about Australia. You don't even think about the scale or the size of the flowers, or you don't even think about that when you talk about Holland.
With my people, when you see a lot of engravings like this, or carbon on the rock, whatever you want to call them, that means that the rainbow serpent live here, and in our language that's the rainbow serpent water owl, which translated Ngatjing Ukominga, that's mean rainbow serpent water owl, so that's where he lives there. And then back, I think it was way back in the 30s or something, that big droughts all around here, and the mob from here went into town, someone had done a crobbery and it started to rain, because this site and around this area is a site of the rainbow serpent. It's a rainmaking site, and also it's a site of the Seven Sisters, who is to us is Wirtu Wirtu Terinya, that's the old sisters, and this is one of those sites too. Yeah. The little animals, those ones there would look like emus. Yeah. I'm pretty sure they brolgas, see?
Ah, yeah,
right?
maybe right.
This symposium has invited a group of architects, artists, designers, scientists, writers and Indigenous elders to develop innovative insights and creative solutions for the challenge of living in this increasingly dry environment. How is the desert portrayed in Australian culture, and how does this differ from European concepts of desert? How is this land described in Indigenous culture? Can we learn to live in a waterless land? Can we love it, respect it and nurture it? Can we allow this land to be itself rather than what we want it to be? Can we recognise it?